All right, this week on Camera Talk, Dylan and I here going back to one of our favorite islands, Japan. That's right, Japan.
I'm turning Japanese, I think I'm turning Japanese, I really think so.
We're going to be going head to head with a couple of vintage classics, a couple of the main tea brands that are out there. We're not talking Toyota. We're talking Takumar versus Topcor. And what focal range? We're looking at 35 millimeter. One's an f2, one's an f2.8. Close enough, hey? But let's put them head to head and see who comes out on top, right? What do you think? Who's gonna win? Who's gonna win? Come on, let's hear it. Who's gonna win? You're not sure. All right, well, let's find out together. Grab yourself something to eat or drink, something to get yourself comfortable.
Action!
And let's get it on.
Here I am, Vietnam. Rain is always coming down.
This is Camera Talk with Dr. Scott and Dylan. And Dylan. That's right, here we are, folks. Another Camera Talk, another week, another lens battle. Battle of the Japanese Topcors and Takumars. Both of them are classic. Both of them are sought after vintage lenses by many vintage lens users out there. Of course, they're manual focus lenses, but we're looking at the 35 millimeter Takumar. You know, most of the time people think of the Takumar, they think of the 50 millimeter 1.4, and the Topcor, they think of the 58 1.4. That's the classic, and they are. And we'll do a head-to-head against each other one of those someday. But for this week, we're doing the 35 millimeter. So the Takumar. Starting off looking at them. Actually, let's start off with the older one. You're not talking about Daddy. We're talking about the Topcor, which is older than Daddy, by the way. But this Topcor lens was introduced to the public in 1963. That's right. That's before Daddy. Somebody just sent Daddy a message. We'll ignore that for now because we're focused on our YouTube audience. That's right. So this is a Takumar. This is a 35 millimeter. This is a 2.8. Did I say Takumar? Sorry. Rewind that one. This is a Topcor. Topcors are top of the line. I mean, 1963, and yet the quality of the workmanship and the glass and you know, the smoothness. I mean, look at that focus ring. Daddy could take care of that with 2 fingers, no big deal. And yet it's over. Well, 1963, we're in 2023. That's old, isn't it?
At least we're not fucking idiots.
That's 60 years old. Yeah, that's a 60-year-old lens. And it's man, who the heck is texting Daddy? Now that's getting annoying. Who is this? See, on Teams. Oh, it's from a student. Well, the kind of teacher Daddy is, we say, who cares about students?
Stupid. Point. Misspelled. Is this English?
No, just kidding. I love my students. I care deeply about them. But during our camera talk, students can take a back seat and wait their turn. So anyway, because it is, what is it, 8 o'clock at night. I don't have to be addressing student concerns at 8 o'clock at night. They're questioning me about the assignments that are coming due this weekend. But hey, what is today? Today's Monday night. This weekend coming is enough time for them to deal with it later. So, back to what we were talking about. Topcor. So Tokyo Kogaku was the creator of the Topcor line. And again, they released this in 1963. It's a 2.8, which was considered relatively fast aperture at the time. You know, the whole line is actually quite sought after by vintage lens users out there. I have this is the widest I have, the 35. I have the two 58s, the 1.8 and the 1.4, and 100 millimeter 2.8, and the 135. The 135 also 2.8. So anyway, it's you know, for its age, it was a darn good lineup that they had. But unfortunately, their business practices weren't up to snuff, and they kind of ran themselves into the ground and ran out of money, and that was kind of the end of that. So they became a collectible. They also had a weird mount. It's very similar to Exacta mount, even though they call it a Topcor mount. But you can use an Exacta adapter, which I have here, Exacta to NEX for my Sony, and you can use these vintage lenses on your modern cameras and still take advantage of their cool character and quality. Again, this is pretty darn good quality. So anyway, the characteristics of this, you know, reputation that it has is great colors, great sharpness, and that runs across their entire line. The build quality is outstanding, especially again for 60 years old. Quite nice. Very typical for a Topcor. And now, of course, Topcor made various lines as well, from UV Topcors, which is more of their consumer brand lineup. This is the RE Auto Topcor, which is their professional lineup, and it's a much better quality lens. And they made a lot of them out there. I mean, the serial number on this one is 7,409,000. You know, that's a lot. There's a lot of these things that are out there, but since they're sought after, it drives the price up. So they're not exactly cheap to get these things either. So anyway, the specs on these is 7 elements in 5 groups. It's close focus, which is pretty decent. 23 centimeters. So basically about here, I can get some close-up on you. Do we want a close-up of Dylan's face? Do we want a close-up of you? Yeah, darn right you probably would love close-up of everything of you.
All right, Mr. DeMille, I'm ready for my close-up.
6 blades, which is nothing outstanding, especially when you're stopping down. The bokeh obviously is not going to be anything to write home about. As far as bokeh balls go, you know, the shape of the balls, hexagon. That's a Konica brand. But anyway, hexagon-shaped bokeh balls. So 6 blades, but wide open. Obviously circular, aren't they? So, but that's very typical again for the Japanese.
The stereotypical over-the-top rendition of the Japanese
Manufacturing of the period. Canon, Nikon, Takumar, everybody was doing six blades at the time. So, but it's fairly light as well, 230 grams. Now, of course, it has an adapter on it, so it looks larger than it is. It's almost like those little mirrors on the side of your passenger side, right, where things appear closer than they really are. Or things may be closer than they appear to be. So that's the Topcor. Do we want to do it in order? Do you want to show the pictures in order of them, or shall we just introduce both lenses first and then go through the some photos? Want to introduce them first? Okay. That must mean yes. 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 Yeah. So, well, let's talk about the Takumar then. So the Takumar is again another famous Japanese manufacturer made by Asahi, and you know their lineup was also quite sought after back in the 60s. Their 51.4 was said to be the Carl Zeiss planar killer, who was top of the mountain at the time, and Takumar produced a lens that knocked them off the mountain, so to speak. But this one's a 35 millimeter. They came in an f2 and a 3.5, and that is rumored to be the better of the two lenses. You know, the other one is sharper, but as with all vintage lens collectors, most of us like to get the fastest lens possible, which is an f2 in this case. And f2 is okay. It's you know, ideal range is 2.8 to 5.6. You know, for if you want sharpness and everything else. But wide open is sharp enough, as they say. And again, Takumar, this range for this lens began in 1967 and went up through the 1970s. It's super multi-coated, and it's actually written out that way. The later renditions of these lenses, they just use SMC. So this is actually written out, super multi-coated Takumar. And, you know, again, good build quality. Same thing as with the Topcor. It's all metal. It's very smooth. Again, I can turn the focus ring very easily with two fingers, and it's nice and silky smooth.
That's what she said.
It's you know, the build quality is outstanding, as all Takumars are, but this one's pretty good, and it's also radioactive. Oh yeah! Oh my God, radioactive! We're all going to die. No, not quite. Just with all radioactive lenses, as long as you're not cracking the lenses and ingesting or breathing in the crushed glass, then the thorium doped elements in there are not going to really do anything to you. I mean, you would have to sleep with this thing under your pillow night after night to really have adverse effects from it and whatnot. Generally, the camera bodies themselves protect, you know, your eyes from the radioactive exposure, so it's not as bad as people like to go on about. Because I read online, some people are like, "Oh no, I won't use any radioactive lenses because they're going to damage me in some way and whatnot."
You goddamn coward!
Anyway, you know, getting back to the equivalent of an X-ray or, you know, whatever kind of thing, at most. So anyway, its specs a little different than the Takumar or the Topcor. This one is 8 elements in 7 groups. Its close focus is a little more less desirable. It's 40 centimeters, so it's more out to this range as opposed to the Topcor, which is closer to here, right? So that's a fair difference. But it's still not bad, you know, for as far as close-up goes. Same aperture blade setup, 6 in that case, and it's 240 grams. Another difference is the setup in the blades too. The aperture blades are on the outside, as in towards the camera. The blades overlap on the outside, as opposed to the Topcor, which we can, let's see in the lights here, are, yeah, they're on the back side, are where they overlap, which is what most, I don't know about most, but most of the ones I look at anyway are that kind of setup anyhow. So so the Takumar is heavier than the Topcor, but it's still 240 grams is not much either. So anyway, so that is the story of these things, and you know, let's give you some shots of what they look like from here. Taking shots as my usual standard operating procedure is taking a shot of my Canon M50, which is recording this video. And what I try to do is focus in on the nameplate on the end of the lens. And you getting sleepy? It's what, 10 after 8? You're getting tired already. So anyway, so I get a focused shot on the end of the nameplate, and then I give you some shots of this dude to show you what that can look like. So let's start with the Topcor, since that's what I began this this talk about. So, dude, as always, your head is not appreciated, getting in the way as it is. All right, so wide open F2. 1, 2, 3. And let's do 5.6, just to show you what that looks like. Let's get a look and make sure there was no focus shift. 1, 2, 3. All right, so that is the Topcor Tokyo Kogaku 35. Well, 3.5 centimeters, actually what the nameplate here, but it's 35 millimeter. For those who aren't sure how the metric system works with converting.
Metric superheroes fighting to stamp out metric ignorance and introduce the system that rules the world.
Whoop, just zip your decimal point over. So 2.8. And let's get you some shots of Dylan at f2.8. And how about some shots of Dylan at 5.6? And how about some random stuff with the Topcor 35? Want some random crap? Random crap of rainbows and butterflies and bunny rabbits and Santa Claus and, you know, just kidding. None of those things are actually in these samples, but flowers and trees and lakes and other things. All right, ready? Random crap. He's probably like, oh my God, you hit me. That's child abuse, child abuse. It's getting your attention though, isn't it? Yeah. Instead of looking for the camera, he's always, where's the camera? Where's the camera? What else? So, wait, let's do the Takumar. So don't go anywhere. I'm gonna get that finger ready to rock and roll for some more. Wait, where's my little dots lining up here? Hey-ya, hey-ya, as they say. All right, get your head back here. Get yourself comfy. Ooh, zip in here. 1, 2. Oh, there we are. F2. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. And how about 5.6? Again, same thing. Let me zip in to see. Make sure. Don't move, mister. 1, 2, 3. Wait, 3. There we go. Line it up correctly. So that was at f2 and f5.6. So how about some pictures of Dylan at f2? And the Takumar at f5.6. And how about random crap? Random crap with the same butterflies and flowers and other outdoor crap, that we can find taken with this lens. Random stuff. Yeah. And how about since it is a comparison, why don't we do some side by sides, right? So here's a side by side of the Topcor and the Takumar, but I'm not going to tell you which one is which, just to test you. You can put them in the comments on which one you think is the comparison. One's at f2, obviously, and one's at f2.8, but hey, they're both shot wide open. So one's A and one's B. We're not sure which one's which. What do you think they are? So let's give them that one. Here's a side-by-side at f2 and 2.8. And how about side-by-side at f5.6? Because both of those are equal, right? So 5.6, again, A and B. I'm not going to tell you which one's which. Leave your guess in the comments of which one you think it is. Which one do you think has the better rendition? All right, here's the side-by-side of Dylan at f5.6. Okay, that was it as far as the comparisons go. So what do you think is better, Dylan? Is it the Takumar or the Topcor? Topcor? Takumar? Eh? Wow, you sound like you're indecisive about both. All right, well, we'll leave it up to the audience to decide which one they like better. If it was up to Daddy, I know there's a lot of Takumar lovers out there, but Topcor seems to have a special place in my heart.
Get the fuck out of here.
And you're like, I thought I had the special place in your heart, Daddy. Well, you do, but Topcor, there's room enough in there for Topcor as well. So, I like the Topcors. But anyhow, so how about our little plug for our photo editing software that we use? Who do we use? We use Luminar. Luminar AI and Luminar Neo. Now, Luminar Neo is, the latest, greatest thing. It's like a combination of Luminar 4 and Luminar AI molded together and mushed and mosh pitted into a whole new thing. And, it uses a lot of AI. And what does AI stand for? Another chance for you? You're not sure? Okay. Okay, well, give me a guess anyway. What is it? What is it? It means what? AI is... Wrong again. Oh my God, how many months are you going to go by without guessing? Artificial intelligence. So they have artificial intelligence for spot and dust removal, power line removal, portrait background removal, masking AI. What other AI do they have? Enhancement AI, like the whole overview of the photo can be enhanced with AI. They got AI this, AI that, scene relighting, Dylan AI. So, Dylan doesn't need artificial intelligence, do you? You're so smart the way you are. Yeah. So, anyway, why should you get it? Or get yourself a copy? Because we have a copy. That's one reason to get it. Why not be like Dr. Scott and Dylan? Get a copy of Luminar Neo. But it's also economical, Once you buy it, it's yours for life. There are no subscriptions, even though they do have added featured subscriptions for people who are like pro photographers and need extra special help in things. But we don't need any extra help, do we? We're good the way we are. So we just do the bare copy, and it's great. Have all kinds of super templates that adjust color and contrast and all this stuff for you. Again, lots of AI in there. Very cool. And it's because we're lazy. Are we lazy? Yeah. Well, Daddy can be lazy. You know, he likes to just get stuff, hurry up and get it done. You know, what else? What else can we say? It's good bang for the buck. And as I said, it's yours for life. So if you want a discount, now who doesn't like discounts, right? If you want a little discount, if you click below in the description, there's a if you use the link to buy a copy, you can get $10 off. And what do we get for that? We get some kickback for that. Everybody likes kickback, right? Kickback. Yeah, kickback. And we get $10. That $10 that you save, we get that $10 because, hey, we're putting a little sales pitch in there for it, right? Yeah, we should get paid for that. A little commission here and there. Wow, somebody's having an orgy upstairs. That sounded rather sexual, didn't it? Whew, my goodness. So anyway, the yeah, you get a little kickback. We get that $10, and you know, if I give it to Dylan, what are you going to do with that $10? You going to save it? No, you going to spend it? Are you going to spend it? Yeah, we'll see. Well, it's only $10. You're not going to save much. Well, if you save it though, you can collect it, and one day you can save up enough to have what? $1 million, just like Dr. Evil. $1 million. Yeah.
$1 million.
So what else does YouTube like? Hey, they like subscribers, right? That you can help out our channel, because Dylan wants lots of exposure out there, not just Daddy. Daddy's always getting in trouble for exposure. But hey, exposure is what gets us these subscribers. So if you're watching this for the first time or second time or fourth time or however many times you watched our YouTube channel without subscribing, shame on you. You need to subscribe. That's right. You're going to help me with that? How about you subscribe? Oh, you're a little late with that finger. All right, let's do two fingers together. Your fingers, my fingers. Huh? Subscribe. Wow, you're not very helpful today. I can kill you. Make you pay, you little rat bastard. So, subscribe. Help us. And what does YouTube like besides subscribers? They like the thumbs up. Right? It's Dylan's favorite part of the show. Because you give us a thumbs up, we give you a thumbs up times 8. I forget how many thumbs up girls there are. So we can show you the thumbs up girls. Thumbs up. Do 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 do. Thumbs up. Yeah. He's got the hots for the blonde, who Daddy thinks is not that bad either. But yeah, thumbs up girls. So that's pretty much all we had for you this week. Where are we in our calendar anyway? You know, we've gone through New Year's, we've gone through that. Oh, Chinese New Year's coming up next week, the Lunar New Year. Not for you guys, it's not. For you guys, you're watching this in February sometime, so Lunar New Year's is far past. But for Dylan and I, it's Lunar New Year's. And on Wednesday, Dylan and I are going to go for a little photo shoot together at school. He's going to wear his little Asian New Year's outfit, and Daddy will just wear this because Daddy doesn't want those little Asian outfits because he looks funny, because Daddy's not an Asian, so you wear those things that looks like Daddy's going out for Halloween or something. So anyway, we'll put you in the little aoyai, and you'll look all cool for the Lunar New Year pictures. So maybe we'll show everybody the results of that, huh? You think so? No, please, Daddy, don't show everybody. It's embarrassing. Aww. So anyway, thanks for dropping by. Thanks for listening. I think that's all we had, right? You know, why should people come back next week to watch another one of these things? Why? Because you belong here. And where do they belong? Where they belong? This is Camera Talk with Dr. Scott and Dylan. It was like Daddy's rendition of Eminem.
Two trailer park girls go round the outside, round the outside, round the outside.
A little rap talk. So, yeah, come on back next week. Thank you for dropping by. Thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you for donations. Dylan wants donations. He needs to buy more cookies. Daddy doesn't supply him with enough cookies.
What the fuck?
Thank you for everything. And stay safe out there. And come on back next week and we'll do it all again. Are you ready to say bye-bye? Okay. Bye-bye.
Here I am, Vietnam. Rain is always good.